for the prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you that we are under you, and thank you for this beautiful weather, this day that we've had, and just thank you for the opportunity for people to be out and to enjoy the spring that's fast coming. And we just thank you for new beginnings. We just thank you for the people in this room tonight, and we continue to give thanks for each and every individual in this community. There's not an individual in this community whom you love more than another. And that is the same thing that you ask us to do, and that is to love each one, our neighbors, our family, friends, strangers, unconditionally. And help us to do that, Father, and give us wisdom for this meeting tonight. Guide us to make decisions that absolutely reflect your heart for this community, and in turn help us reflect your heart in the way we treat each other. We give you all the glory and honor and praise. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Amen. Cindy, if you would, roll call.
Gary Elliott.
Here.
Bob Leahy.
Here.
Jason Brewer.
Here.
Tim Heiss.
Here.
Tito Frias.
Here.
All right. Consent agenda. I trust you've had the opportunity to review the consent agenda. If so, if there are no questions or comments, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move we accept the consent agenda as presented.
We have a first, and we have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Consent agenda approved as presented. We are certainly blessed to have a special presenter tonight, Randolph County Tourism. And so with that being said, I will turn the floor over. I think we have multiple guests.
So quick.
Yeah. Sorry.
I have two Vanna Whites today, but I'm Angie Martin, I'm the tourism director, and then we have Jim, who is our president, and Monty, who is our vice president. So they're going to hand out some stuff for you. It has been almost a year that I have been employed as the tourism director for round 2. So we just wanted to kind of come back and let you guys know all the stuff that we've accomplished. Obviously, tourism is funded with tax dollars through innkeeper's tax. So we just feel like it's really important that we, kind of let the citizens of Randolph County know what we're doing with your tax dollars and where, it's being put to use. So tourism last year separated from Randolph County United. So at the beginning of the year, we had to start our own 501c3 again. We had to do articles of incorporation, the whole 9 yards. So the very, very beginning of me being employed was doing what I did the first time around and, kind of help start everything up again. So we got all that taken care of. We reinstated. We had a few memberships that we had kind of pulled away from, and just because there was kind of an interim there where we really didn't have necessarily a director. So we reinstated with Indiana Foodways Alliance, and then we reinstated with East Region membership, our East Region tourism membership. So Indiana Foodways Alliance is basically what it sounds like. There's trails. They have Tenderloin Trail. They have coffee trails. They have ice cream trails. Whole 9 yards throughout the state. It's super fun to kind of be on that board. They have already, since we've reinstated, they have done several write-ups for Randolph County, whether it be Mexican restaurants. They did one on Mexican restaurants in Randolph County. They did one on Wicks Pies. So that we're already seeing. Us coming back being favorable to us again. We also, this is the first time in 2 years, I do believe, that Jim and Monty just passed out the festival guides. So for the last 2 years, we've not put anything in the festival guides, so we are back in it. So we're super excited about that because that goes all throughout the state. So this year we did 4. We reached out to all towns. Some didn't get back with us, and there is a deadline. The deadline's normally around August, so some of the smaller towns sometimes don't really know exactly when they're going to do things, and it has to be pretty set in stone. But we did put 4 in. The Steel Guitar Festival, State Line Heritage Days, the Farmland Pie Fest, and then Mardi Gras. So I'll be once again reaching out to you guys around the June, July area to see if you guys have any events that we could help you promote, because like I said, it goes all across, so that's a good thing for us to be in. Along with starting up kind of our own new incorporation, we decided to kind of redo some of our branding. So we bought new marketing equipment. We did new banners for when we do travel shows or trade shows that kind of pop up that just kind of tell people about a little bit about Randolph County, that have our little QR code on it and things like that. We did car magnets that we're going to be able to use when we do parades, whether it be here or anywhere, in our county. To tablecloths, and then you will also see the brochure that they passed out. We did do that in-house, and we did it on purpose. So some of our stuff, when we design it, we send it off because, I'm decent at a lot of the marketing and creating my own, but I'm definitely no complete professional. The reason we decided to do it in town was because exactly what happened. The day it printed, a restaurant closed. And that's the way it happens. That's just the beast of things. As soon as you print stuff out, it's already out. It's already out of date. So good news is we printed it, but we printed a small quantity. So we'll end up making the change and print them again. So whenever if you guys have festivals here and you need some, we can redo whatever we need to do and make it for you guys. Or I know the speedways ask us to help them when they have races come in. So that's one of the things that we worked on for marketing. We also have strategically changed what we're doing. I'm sure you guys get the magazine. It's called Shop Smart. It's free. It comes in your mail. We used to just be in the Randolph County, J County. So tourism's job, yes, it is to educate Randolph County citizens to a certain degree, but our job is to get people from outside Randolph County to come to Randolph County to spend their money. So, we're helping boost the economy ourselves. So we are still doing the J. Randolph edition, but we added on Wayne County this year. So we're hoping to get, some different people from different places. We'll see how that goes. Possibly next year we might end up adding on Delaware County and just kind of spread our wings, but kind of see, how this goes. But we did have several different events that we worked with this year. We had the Now and Then Days. We hosted Jeeps at the Speedway. We had 20 Australians that came in that toured the Speedway. We had the Hawaiian Steel Guitar Festival. We did the Randolph County 4-H Fair just to kind of get out, in the community. We had several groups that come to us for what we call event funding requests. So we do have a little pot of money that you can submit a request if you need help, like marketing your event, if you have an event going on. So like I worked with Shelley for the community Christmas, and we kind of helped them promote things like that. So that's been fun to do that and see these different events come to light. We are also updating the Randolph County Tourism website. That's kind of a big job. I am only 20 hours, and I'm not an IT person. So going on there and changing everything. So you'll see changes, but don't expect tomorrow just to see bam, this new website, because it's not going to be like that. But we are making changes. We're updating everything. We are hoping that soon it will look like a new website. We also have been updating and expanding the Randolph County visual tour. So it's a 360 picture. You click on, it's on our website already, but you click on the website, you click on a map, and then you can click different places that you want to go see. So for example, if somebody wanted to stay at our hotel, they click on the hotel icon, and it's a 360 view of a bedroom or the main walk-in area, and then it can also take them link to their website so you can book. We are trying, and obviously this is another thing that's going to take a while, but we are trying to do almost all of our restaurants, stores, things like that. So basically we just go in, set this camera up in the middle, and it does this full 360 picture. That way people kind of know what they're getting into when they come. We also are working on bringing back alive, that's kind of a pun a little bit now that I think about it, because I worked on it the last time that I was here, and it kind of just sat dormant for a while. Jim likes to call it the graveyard tour. It's actually necrotourism. So it is amazing, the people that, they're not just looking at genealogy, but they love the history of graveyards and the stones and all that type of stuff. So We took tons of pictures, so we are going to go back and kind of take new pictures again, because, I mean, here alone, you guys we get people that ask about the Union City graveyard all the time. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything, or the people's names, but I know there's like an Indian chief, and, you know, several different.
Governor.
Yeah, so, you know, we're working on getting this necrotourism tour together where people can kind of drive around Randolph County to all of our grave sites. So that'll be a lot of fun. We also, we assisted in the Winchester Speedway, the marketing of the Winchester 400. I'm sure all of you realize that probably is one of our biggest draws when they have their big races for our county. You know, that's where a lot of people come in. However, I will say I'm very, very amazed how many people have been in Randolph County their entire lives and either A, didn't know that we had a racetrack, or B, have never been. So I highly encourage people to go, because it really is wonderful. And they've done so many upgrades and changes, and there's awesome things. I love racing, but I kind of grew up as a tomboy, so I'm even more excited that monster trucks are coming, a demolition derby. So be on the lookout for that. We will have all that information on our Facebook page, which we do also have a new Facebook page. So our new Facebook page is Randolph County and then IN Tourism. So we've tried to link it with the other one. There was just some issues with the other one going back and forth, so we just decided to kind of start over new on that. And then we also have new billboards. So we have one billboard that is downtown Winchester on Washington Street, and then we also have one on 27 as you're heading out of town. So we're trying to kind of expand, you know, where people can see the little website as they're driving through, that, you know, maybe there might be something that catches their eye that they want to do while they're here. Maybe we can just kind of keep them a little bit longer. We also worked with a group with marketing for the Indiana State Tourism to kind of help us promote outside of our capabilities. Because again, you know, we're a volunteer group and I'm only part-time, so I cannot go to the state fair for a week and, you know, all these different things. So I have a lot of connections that I had before when I was the tourism director, and working with, you know, this group of different tourism directors to kind of take our Randolph County stuff with them when I can't go to these trade shows. So that has been, that's proven to be pretty good for us this year, hoping to expand on it even more. That's actually how we were kind of at the state fair this year. You know, I couldn't go there every day, but we did have stuff there for Randolph County, so that was very nice. So there's a lot of things that we're working on for 2026. Super excited about some new events that are coming, some that are being revived that, you know, we used to have here a long time ago. So some of the younger generation has decided to pick up the reins and hopefully bring some of them back. There's a lot of stuff that's still in the works that hopefully we'll be able to tell you guys about soon. But we do have some great things that we're working on now, like promoting in USA Today magazine, the Midwest Living travel magazine. So that's about 1 million people that reaches just on virtual media alone. That's not the print. I mean, so that's a whole nother group. And then we're also doing Compass Ohio, which again is, I mean, they have, I think it was like 500,000 different subscribers. So we're really been trying to put this, you know, hard work into using the tax dollars the way that we feel is best to get people to come to Randolph County and see all the great things, because I think a lot of people just kind of pass by and just think we're just a little, you know, just a little county that is kind of a drive-through, but we have a lot of great places, a lot of great little hidden gems, so we're really trying to get the information out. But do you guys have any questions for me?
I applaud your efforts to stretch outside the boundaries of the county to promote aggressively and actively, because I mean, I know from Community Christmas, for example, we get so much from outside these two counties.
Yeah, I was really
Including
surprised with the Community Christmas, talking to Shelley about how many, like from Ohio
Oh.
even, I mean, how
Well,
far the reach is
yeah.
that, you know, you guys get here. And it was like that when I was director a long time ago, but I feel like it's tripled
Yeah,
from when I was, so.
it has, and that's the beauty of that. That's other dollars are getting spent inside the county.
Yeah.
But the other thing, thinking broader, is hopefully those people coming into the county, some first time, maybe they're seeing something they didn't know was here, or something they want to check out, a restaurant, or you name it, you know, a racetrack,
Right.
something they weren't aware of, and then you get them back. You know, so I mean, I applaud that, because that's huge.
Well, we've really been trying. I have a great group on my board, so I couldn't do it without them. That's for sure. So, well, thank you all very much for.
Before you, and one thing that we've been working on for the past 2 years is that we have coast to coast representatives. The East Coast has Mrs. Shoemaker and Mrs. Escobar. They're your representative.
Oh, you're talking the county coast to coast.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking
That's the way you have to think about it.
Okay,
because you
right.
got to think out the four walls.
Okay.
And before you think out of the four walls, you got to go coast. So that's how we do it. And so you have two great representatives, and they send us information, and we put it on the board out there. And so this year we have a lot of great people representative of Randolph County that we get their information, and we're really putting that out there. And Angie, well, she just doesn't brag. I brag on her because, you know, that's just the way we do it. Like, we're working on right now some of the hidden treasures of Randolph County. We're working on this pamphlet, and they'll change because this hidden treasures will be out there, and then people will be there. Like, we have the 2 golf course, we have 1 bowling alley. So things like that people, like she was saying, people don't even know that they're here. They just think we're just a little Randolph County and just go on. But no, we have to put out stories about them and how everything else, just like the cemeteries, people. And then also we have the, I call them the ghost place.
The asylum.
The asylum.
Yeah.
People, they come from everywhere, even in their own right. Movie stars in this asylums, they come here. We don't know who they are, but they're movie stars in their own right, and they're great. We run into them. They stay at the hotel and they go around us and stuff. And I said, "Oh my gosh!" So you know, we're a hidden treasure. You know, and Union City has a lot of stuff here too. So we ask you guys to give us any information, and Angie will give you her business card. Of course, you guys have mine everywhere, and mine is you guys have the hotline on that one. But we have everything. That's our job. The commissioners have been we are very fortunate to have the commissioners that give us their trust, and we're trying to do everything we can with the tax dollar, because that's what it is, a tax dollar. And we're doing everything we can. And I know that I try to keep Angie within those 20 hours. I watch that time clock for her very hard, but you know, she does very good. She does very good. But here again, we have a lot to share. We have a lot to share. But this weekend is the Randolph County United Expo. And if you guys have anything for us to share, we have 2 gigantic tables. That we have something, if you guys have something, give it to us. I'll be back here in Union City tomorrow to pick up some stuff for Union City to share, because it's gonna be big. It's gonna be big this coming weekend.
And where's the
we have
expo
a lot
at?
of people
At the fairgrounds.
at the fairground.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the fairground.
One other thing that I wanted to mention is we have decided this year for our meetings, we have quarterly meetings for the Tourism Commission, that we're kind of taking the show on the road a little bit. So we did Winchester, our last meeting. We're coming to Union City at our next one. So, you know, we're trying to do that to kind of educate our entire board of, you know, the different places that we have. Because obviously we talk about it in the meetings. It's a totally different beast to, you know, go to the towns and see it. And I'm sure that, you know, almost everybody on our board has been here, but we're trying to get, you know, all the way around our county. So
Coast to
everybody can coast to coast to coast. Jim, our traveler.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great job. All right. Department reports. I don't have anything for this meeting aside from, I just want to give hats off to Councilman Gary Elliott. He set the projector for the art show, the opening, that was Saturday night. I don't know if you guys got to see the projection on the side of the building on Friday night, but yeah, that's a sign of things to come. That projector was through donations, ticketed toward community Christmas to use that at the park, but then also other events throughout the city. So we want to use that later on this year for other events too, and we'll make sure we publicize it. Cindy, do you have anything that Amy wanted you to cover specifically?
I do not.
Okay. And council members, Tito, we'll start with you.
I have nothing this time.
Tim?
I don't have anything.
Jason?
I have nothing.
Bob?
I just have one thing from the Waste Management Group. Pollution Solutions will open for the season this Saturday. And the Saturday hours are 8 a.m. till noon. And then on Thursdays, they'll be open from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And that is, again, State Route 32 west from here before you get to Winchester. And they'll have a couple other events coming up later on this year, and I'll wait and update those as they get close to that time.
Awesome. So this Saturday, March
This
14th,
yes.
at what time again?
8 a.m. till noon on Saturdays,
Noon
and
on
then 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Thursdays.
Great job. Awesome. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Gary?
I don't have anything.
Chad, I did have one thing.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if you bring up otherwise, but Sarah Black brought up and actually Keith Malloy brought up today at Board of Works that it was groundbreaking for
Thank you. March
Playground Paradise, March 18th,
Yes.
10 a.m. Correct.
Correct.
Yeah. No, thank you for bringing that up because that's before our next council meeting. So,
Yeah.
March 18th, 10 a.m. at the park, at Hunter Park, out there in front of the pool area, on the north side of the pool area, basically. And that's a groundbreaking, not a ribbon cutting. So big difference.
That
But
date's
still
to
a
be
big step
announced
nonetheless.
after the
So
because that's a little fluid on finish.
yes, yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up because
Yeah.
that's big. So old business, we do not have the additional quotes as requested for that facade grant application, so that will be tabled. New business, we have the Randolph County 2024 Unified Zoning Ordinance, which is the flood damage prevention ordinance. You should have this in your packets. This is essentially one of those must-do, for lack of a better phrase. Do you have any questions regarding what was presented to you?
No, sir.
It's rather lengthy in its
Yes.
description, certainly.
I just wanted to give some brief just comments to help the public understand what it is. I mean, these are things that, governments do to protect everybody, right? So when someone's buying a new house, the price of insurance is definitely going to be affected by whether the house is in a lower lying area that's slightly more prone to flooding, right, or not. And so the FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Area, like across the country, keeps data, and it can change, right, depending on weather patterns and construction and building and stuff. And so what this ordinance, right? It's a county ordinance. It's an ordinance, right? Is that what they call it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what it does is just make sure that we're controlling it properly, so that no one ends up being hurt. So, for example, if someone in a low-lying area builds a structure, well, by moving the land a little bit or slightly changing the elevation, they could affect how the water would flow if ever the place flooded. And we don't know that, but it's like they measure these things and figure this out. But just building something like that could cause an extra flow to some place that would cause much worse property damage to a neighbor or downstream a little bit. Even though it's not a stream, it's just like the flat land. It can affect how the water flows and how it sinks in or not. And so that's why it's important to have this type of things, like to measure the topography and where the water will flow if ever there was a flood thing. So and here's my question, right? It's a normal thing when anybody is building something, there's already a process for a permit, and so automatically this would work into that process. Yes.
It should.
Should.
Yeah, it should be.
So it's not an additional permit necessarily that the person is getting, unless it's determined, right, it's part of the process, unless it's determined that, yeah, they're in a floodplain, and, so anyway, just wanted to explain that it's a normal thing. I'm not sure what changed from before, but, just to me, it seems like something normal and good for everybody.
Yeah, certainly. Well, it's them doing their due diligence, and it's actually had already received a favorable recommendation from county area planning. So, so it would be certainly in line with what they've already recommended. So, are there any other comments or questions? I appreciate the insight. Then I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve Randolph County 2024 Unified Zoning Ordinance, Flood Damage Prevention Ordinance.
We have a first, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Cindy, if you would, roll call vote.
Gary Elliott?
Yes.
Bob Leahy?
Yes.
Jason Brewer?
Yes.
Tim Heiss?
Yes.
Tito Frias?
Yes.
The next does not require action, but is for your review, is the ABM Performance Year 1 report. They followed up with the information as they said they would, and verifying that the income is there as they proposed it would be. The one thing it does not have, though, are the solar savings from the city building. So the actual solar savings are greater than what you see in the packet, because the communication system, as I understand, is not
Connected.
not connected.
I need a
Correct.
port in the boiler room, which is as far away from the server as possibly it could be, and they haven't ran that yet. And until they get that, so that they can plug the brains into the port, into the firewall and the internet, they can't pull down the data remotely.
So the solar panels are working. We're not getting the
Everything's
information
working.
as to how much.
Everything's working.
Yeah.
The bills are running backwards on the meters as they're supposed to. I just can't pull the data out remotely.
Correct. So,
And I thought I noticed even with the data that is available, which is most of it, right, that we still met, or the system still met or exceeded the expected savings in energy costs.
That's correct.
So we're good. So we're good.
it's encouraging. Review of the proposed handbook changes. The saga continues. We're hopefully getting this put to bed. We have information that's been sent, updates that's been sent to our HR representatives down in, I think they're based out of Florida, aren't they?
I'm not sure where they're at.
Okay, wherever they're based out of, but it's our HR company that we've affiliated with for years. So once we don't have anything for you to vote upon tonight, but once they have the final rendition completed, that will be submitted to you immediately so you guys can review it, hopefully many days in advance of the next meeting, so that we can finally put this to bed.
I spoke with our rep today. I'm expecting the completed document in a couple of days.
Good.
So
Yeah, so
as soon as I get
the
it
second
off
we
the
have
board,
it, it needs to be in your guys' hands. Ms. Rick?
Just
Yes.
something that jumped out at me as I was looking through the packet and the part on that is that it just seems very, very unusual to pay out sick leave.
We don't pay out sick leave.
Okay, but that was in there, so I was like, okay, well, good.
Well, that's something we want to make sure it's not in the revised version that comes from HR. And then also review for the interlocal co-op agreement. What that is consolidation of the various agreements that were in effect that was executed by Defer Varan of Muncie, our legal firm, and submitted to everyone for your review. So, do you guys have any questions, thoughts, before we would attach this to the next agenda for voting?
I have a lot of thoughts. I know that Amy had a whole list of concerns, and I thought they were great.
I had a question about the interlocal board. I think she asked the same question. Is that going to, it seems like having an interlocal board sort of infringes kinda, I don't know if that's the right term, on the scope of work for the Board of Public Works.
Not in the
Encroaches is the right word.
Right. Well, not in the sense that the interlocal board would have no authority over the Board of Works for any rule, any recommendations or anything that they would pass or suggest for Union City, Indiana. And the same would be on Ohio, though I don't believe they have a Board of Works on the Ohio side, do they?
No.
I didn't think so. But yeah, it would not supersede, because anything in the state of Indiana would supersede the interlocal board. The interlocal board is merely like I guess like a co-op would be the best.
Well,
So,
I mean, I
explanation.
can't see it as anything other than an advisory.
Right, exactly.
And it can't, I
Exactly.
mean, by
They have no-
statute.
Yeah, they have no powers under the state of Indiana or Ohio.
So could we like review it carefully so that it reads like it would, maybe they can provide an advice or a recommendation, official recommendation
That's-
to the board or to council, depending.
that's their sole intent, sole purpose. And that's why it's devised the way it is too. I mean, it's the both mayors and then representatives from both sides. It'd be three I think from the Ohio or Indiana side and 2 from the Ohio side. I believe is the way the interlocal would defer Beran presented it. It should be in here. Should be in your
That's what I
packet.
saw, and that the mayor would nominate, the mayors of both sides would nominate
Correct.
people. But I was thinking, should they nominate someone from like the Board of Public Works or?
I would want a council member, for sure.
Thank you, that way I don't have to say it.
Yeah, and I would think Mayor Pooter would probably want the same as well.
Right, that just helps for more transparency, and we
Absolutely.
can report, whoever the members can report back.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing.
So there will be no additional cost
No.
incurred by either side
Nope.
that way?
Nope. Yeah, unfortunately, the board would not be paid. They would not be paid
Right,
position.
I mean, since everybody's basically already getting paid.
Exactly.
So-
Correct.
Now, there's the one thing that I see with, there's a lot of action. There's board meetings that are added, there's a lot with the cross billing and so forth. And I see basically another job in administrating, on the administration side in terms of if we really get into truly cross billing and everything we need to be doing with this to be fully legal and transparent, it looks like a lot of administrative work to me that would occupy potentially one person pretty full time.
And Amy, I think, was alluding to that as well.
And that's the one thing that I learned from Anita Amsball many years ago is to be conscious of whatever you're doing here, who you're adding work to.
Right.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
for one, I don't think, but one of the things with that is that then you get into like, when you're talking about this board, that whoever's gonna be, say, the taking the minutes, serving as our clerk does in our council meetings and our Board of Works meetings, who that person is gonna be, how do you have a fair representation of both cities, or the city and the village, with one person without some crossover of that person's duties? I'm not sure how. I'm just thinking of whose employee is that person.
You mean anybody handled administrative,
Yeah.
like tracking the forms
And-
of what's?
Both sides.
Well, that
Both sides.
Because we have this, the one thing that I already get is that there's people from UCO that don't feel like they're represented in the way we're doing things at this point. Now, I don't agree with that necessarily in terms of what work's getting done and everything, but that's the perception that there is. But
Well, that could very well be one of the benefits of the interlocal board, because you'd have
Well,
joint representation. Because the one thing we don't do is meet.
Of course,
Together.
I guess the other question, and I know the obvious answer, but the interlocal board being a 5 or a 3 and 2 member count could be, if you start, if you had conflict in the vote, obviously the UCO mayor and his 2 appointments if they walk in lockstep, they control not everything, because there's a couple places where there's unanimous.
Indiana.
Union City, Indiana.
Yeah.
If those 3 people were walking in lockstep with a couple of exceptions of unanimous votes being necessary, then their recommendations are going to be favorable. And I'm playing devil's advocate here, could be favorable to UCI,
Right.
or at least perceived that way.
Right.
So, and sometimes perception is a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, for sure.
I fall short of saying perception is reality, as we've been heard numerous times, and by some people that I don't want to talk about get into that. But perception can be a dangerous thing to have to navigate.
Yeah, certainly.
Didn't the Board of Works supersedes that though, right?
Well,
For Indiana, yes.
yeah,
For Inson, Indiana.
Oh, that's right, the high side didn't have it.
Yeah.
So another one that I was looking at is the property. There's a clause 5A about property, and it says that ownership of existing facilities and equipment shall remain titled as is. And here's my concern: unless a different determination is made by unanimous consent of the interlocal board. I say no, because unless so it should no, right? It should read, unless a different determination is made by the interlocal board and ratified by city council or something like that.
Yeah,
Since they're just an advisory, so they shouldn't have any, like, judgment
Final
decision.
final
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Right.
Again, they can make a recommendation.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Extent of it.
Your council legislates and appropriates, and so now you're setting up another board, and that you're gonna have to probably pay.
No, we're not paying them. Because it's going to be comprised of existing council and mayors.
That's not what it says.
That's what it
It's
said.
appointed, well, it's
not
it's
what
our
it
It says
appointees.
they're appointed.
Yeah,
I don't want any appointed people spending my money.
yeah.
We vote for you folks.
Who's gonna do the billing for the water?
And you should not adapt this thing before you have a big meeting of all the people involved on the Ohio side and the Indiana side, because you're proposing a major change in the way we're governed and the way you spend our tax dollars. I'm not happy with the way that we spend it now, and it's going to get worse. And we all know that our budget is going to take a big hit. And maybe not this 26, 27. We're either going to lose money or we're going to have another income tax.
That's why it's more critical than ever we do this now. We try to figure this out
I
now.
understand your reason,
Yeah.
there, Chad. I just disagree with you.
But the city, Union City, Ohio only has 2 employees outside of police and fire. And we're gonna split this 70-30. So are they gonna take care of some of our labor budget?
Steve, would you like to add into this from your experience of what we've been doing so far?
I don't know that question's come up. I mean, what's being split 70-30 is the operational cost, not the employee cost. We're operating with the employees that are currently on the books.
And
on both
they have
sides.
2 employees, correct?
They have 3 public works employees.
And we have
they
15?
They have 2 office employees.
14.
So who's gonna handle the billing for water and sewage?
We still, I mean, everything would be done the way we've been doing it.
For them as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Union City, Ohio?
Correct.
No,
Should they
no.
pay us for that?
No,
They don't pay us for sewage, they pay us for water.
I'm talking about the billing part. Who will take care of the billing for water and sewage for the high side?
They do.
They still have a
Fiscal officer.
clerk.
Oh, at one point it was discussed that Indiana side would take care of that.
No.
We've talked about maybe billing them for their wastewater, if that would
Yeah.
ever be done.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're not able to do that yet, so.
Like, the one of the things that I look at with this, and we've got police and fire are one facility, but with it's spelled out. I know the street department, there's still some facility on UCO that's being used, and they pay for their facilities, we pay for ours. But like with police and fire, you have the 50-50 split on utilities, but there's no real provision for, I guess, what I'd call depreciation, in the fact that we spent not a huge amount of money, but a bit of money a couple of years ago putting a roof on the fire department. And this is, if the situation was reversed, I'd be asking the same question.
Right.
Just the example is here, and that is that if they're operating out of our fire department, I think if you get into a place where you have to do a major infrastructure repair or something, and you said, well, we're going to have to split this up among UCI and UCO 70-30, I'm wondering whether Ohio State Board of Accounts may take exception to spending money on our facilities. Whereas if you pay a rent, you can pay rent, and be that should be acceptable for them to, if they're occupying, really, if they're paying rent and they're occupying, it shouldn't matter whether it's in Indiana or Ohio, let's say, in that concept. But we would collect that rent as part of that depreciation value. Now, what that rent is hard to determine. But at the same time, I think you might get into a problem trying to, and there's nothing in this provision, providing for that so much, but if you get into this, then if one side or the other is using, I'll put it that way, one side or the other is using facilities heavier than we would on our own use, then obviously that burden becomes ours. And quite frankly, we've spent some money on facilities trying to accommodate this switch that we've done. And so that's why I feel like there's a little lacking on that.
Yes.
On that
Comment, please.
compensation.
Just as a matter of record, this agreement provides for utilities and then says that utilities are water, stormwater, and wastewater. Utilities in the property management field normally would include electric and gas, and those are the two largest things. Right. This is a proposal for us to subsidize the Ohio side even more than we are now, because they are not paying rent. I asked Amy for a copy of any rental agreement. She said they're not paying rent. They are paying on a quarterly basis a half of the utilities in the two buildings. I don't know whether, and she didn't tell me, whether or not those utilities were as spelled out in this agreement, or are they the sort of utilities that I would spell out or any other landlord would spell out in a lease agreement.
It should include electric.
This says all this, number 6, A, section 3 says, or section 4 is all utility bills. Well, no, section 3, city and village will split the cost of all utilities equally 50%.
Where do you see where it says, where does it say just water and wastewater?
There's a place that says that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I had to look it up because I was concerned.
Because that should be, as you see, it should be all utilities. Any utilities consumed in that structure, if gas is hooked up there, then that as well.
Yeah,
in
gas
police,
and
it says
electric
all-
should definitely be, if this is adapted, but right now, I don't know what they're paying. I do know they're not paying any rent, and we spent in excess of $50,000 just to make the accommodation for the police department moving in. I don't know what they spent on the fire department, but as to Tim's point, I doubt that either state board of accounts would approve of us billing Ohio for 30% of putting a new roof on that fire building, or the police, you know,
Yeah.
or making any major change. The other, not too long ago, we had to put a new apron in front of the fire department, and that cost a pretty penny. Wanted to split that up 70-30, I don't think so. This is just,
So we should pay all of it?
if we would just do what you guys passed not long ago and actually bill one another for the time that is spent with the equipment and the manpower, but that's not being done. We're not following the agreement we've got. I question whether if we've entered into a new agreement, if we follow that. I'm very much disappointed in both sides of the line over this business of the billing one another for hours and equipment, because you all thought that was a good idea when you passed it, and you even evened out the wages and the amount you charge per hour for the equipment. That makes sense.
How do you
But
track,
that's not being done.
how do you track your billable hours to the highest side? Do you clock in and clock out?
They're not doing it.
That's
what I'm saying.
that's my question to them.
Yeah.
Do they clock in and clock out so they can track equipment time and manpower time?
I don't think equipment's being tracked in and out, is it?
Manpower?
If they're repairing something, yes.
Okay, but not
If they're
manpower.
doing day-to-day routine activities, that's being shared. The responsibilities are being shared by all personnel.
But you're not clocking in, so you don't know what you're gonna have to bill for the highest side, correct?
They are filling out timesheets if they're actually repairing something that has failed.
Not repairing, I'm saying if you see a water department guy goes and turns the water on the high side, does he clock in and clock out so you can track that manpower? So how do
I don't believe so.
That's not repairing. They're just doing the task.
So they're doing the task, and, I mean, when you clock out, I see the number of trucks on the high side, like the vac truck and where else, and that's probably one of the most expensive vehicles we have, plus an operator. I mean, and don't take this wrong, but I was here about the ABM contract, and I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars that costs a year. And you made a comment, we gotta do this now because of what's gonna happen with taxes. What's the ABM contract cost you per year?
$606,000.
Was that a good move?
It has been so far.
So you-
145. That way you only lost 450,000.
Yeah,
This year.
is that correct?
And if you do that every year, you'll only lose maybe.
You know,
15
you
million.
asked them to stop that vote, to rescind it.
We didn't lose So to your point, then we need to take off the new roofs that were laid. We need to
No.
We need to send back the $1.4 million.
The point is you've invested at a cost of $600,000 per year, with the savings of maybe out of that $100,000 a year.
No, it's like 146.
Oh, okay, so now you're only losing $440,000 a year on that, instead of doing it in projects, which is what I pointed out. And they didn't even do the work, they subcontracted out with outside contractors outside of Union City.
Yeah, and, which they had promised to, just the opposite, that they would use local contractors.
The only reason why I bring the ABM contract up is this is just like that. You're going to saddle the next administrations into this. They're going to have, the ABM contract's going to go for 20 years. Is this going to go on as long as eternity as well, this agreement? Because you all won't be here in a couple more years. Maybe you maybe will, maybe not.
Well, it's an interlocal agreement. By definition, it's not binding forever, so it doesn't saddle the next administration.
with the way you've got it structured, 6 months notice, and if you give 6 months notice in August, and and you can only end the contract on December 31st, then you're really going all the way around. You've got a year and 5 months. So that's pretty indefinite.
I don't think that's accurate. I think if it has to be terminated in 6 months, it's terminated in 6 months.
I thought I read that language in the.
I'd have to have more to clarify that, because I mean,
That's the way I read
As
it.
I say, that's the way I read it.
well, then we can
And,
have that clarified.
It's just like the utilities thing. I had to go back and read that twice.
I understand why it's written that way, but that's accurate.
I really think that the council should hire themselves a lawyer and have them review this and advise you. The state code allows you to do that.
Well, that's what they've done in essence. It's a legal firm that has developed this.
No, I mean.
It's not us.
No, this was done by the city attorney. What I'm saying is, according to state code, the council has a right
Hire
to
outside
hire
legal.
another attorney outside and this is a huge decision, and we just haven't done that well on some of these things, and I'm really concerned, and especially when you start talking about giving any power of the purse to an appointed board. That I don't care how good they are. And I'm not questioning Chad's honesty. He's not going to walk off with the purse. But the setup is the council holds the purse strings. You decide. We've already gone like $4 million in the hole on one project. We're going to spend 1/8 of our budget every year for 15 years, and then take on a $3 million thing. We've got a deal out here on North Plum where we're doing nothing. We're not getting any income from that. What I'm saying is, start looking down the road, like Brian was saying.
What's on North Plum?
He's talking about the Governor Gray.
The housing.
Our subdivision.
That's
Which
why
was a
we
good thing.
were looking down the road. The idea was started by the gentleman 2 people down from you.
Absolutely. It's the execution of it. It was a great idea, Chad. I supported the idea. It was poorly executed. Nobody that I've ever been able to talk to, and I've talked to a bunch of people about subdivisions, and they all say, well, what the heck did you guys do? You gave away 35 lots. And they say, boy, can I do a deal with you? they all want to come to Union City and give us the lots, and you put in the substructure and give us the lots, and we'll do it. This guy didn't do a damn thing. But that's beside the point. I'm trying to tell you, do a little due diligence before you start signing these things. This is heavy stuff. And I really think you need to ask the townsfolk, because you're going to find a lot of people just like me. We vote for you to guard our dollars, our tax dollars. I don't care how honest and fine an appointed board is. I didn't get the vote for them. It's just the whole idea is given our track record, that this is a bad thing.
Would you guys like to hire an independent attorney to review the contract? Or it's not even a contract, it's an interlocal agreement?
The idea doesn't offend me.
I mean, you certainly have that right. I would just recommend you advise, or you seek counsel with someone that has municipal.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
That's why we chose the
That
firm
would
we're
be-
in the first place, because
I
they're
say yes.
municipal attorneys.
That would
I
be-
say yes.
Well, I will leave it to you guys to vet that out, though.
Okay.
So, very good. All right.
So, I mean, I have a couple others,
Yeah.
but should we, if we're gonna get another lawyer, I can just share my ideas with the lawyer, right?
Yeah, might as well. Because I mean, if you're gonna have that vetted out in that direction, you might as well have them do the vetting.
Okay.
So the facade grant with Cleo Livingston and the Motley Shop, you guys should have that presented in your packet. Do we have any questions or thoughts?
Where is the C&D Home Improvement located? Does anybody know? Steve, do you know?
I have no idea. He handed it to Chad when Chad was there picking something up, and I had the initial conversation with him, got in the application, and I have not followed up with him yet.
What was
I
your
can find
question, Bob? I'm sorry.
I just wanted to know where C&D Home Improvement was located.
There's no specifics.
There's no address or
address or contact or
I
anything.
apologize because I must be looking at the wrong document because I was looking at something presented by Joe Davis.
Yeah, I've got that one too. That's he submitted 2 quotes,
He had 2 quotes.
which is the
Oh, I see. Now I see the C and D now. It's at the top.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys.
I was just curious. I mean, there's a little bit of difference in the cost, but I know we try to stick with local contractors if we can. That's the only question I had about it.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know the background on that. Apologize.
That's up to you guys, though. I was just curious.
Noted questions or thoughts, I'd certainly entertain a motion.
I'd still like some clarification on that at some point, but I'm not adverse to the quote numbers. And from what I know, the quote numbers are reasonable in the market range. Both bids are reasonably in the market range, and C&D's is the lower bid.
I'll say it's
It's also, it also, either bid maxes out our contribution.
Right, it's not going to
So
really
it doesn't really change.
It's not going to
Right.
affect our
It doesn't affect
contribution,
our
Becomes a moot
contribution.
so we can go ahead and award it. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
Do we move on that,
and
or-
we're
because
maxed
ultimately he
at-
chooses the contractor
Yeah,
anyways.
We're
Right.
maxed at 10,000
Yeah.
anyway, either
Yeah.
way
It's
on
less than half.
it. So,
I'll go ahead and move that we accept the facade grant from Leo Livingston for the Motley Shop.
We have a first and a second.
I'll second.
Cindy, if you would, roll call vote.
Gary Elliott,
Yes.
Paul Leahy.
Yes.
Jason Brewer.
Yes.
Sam Heiss.
Yes.
Tito Frias.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any visitors still wishing to address the board?
I got a question,
But,
but you're probably gonna say, you're stupid for asking that, but that housing deal out there, when's he gonna put the top coat on it?
well, they were hoping to get more houses in before
Well,
finishing it.
That might be 10 years. I mean, and that guy could be long gone by the time, there's no time limit or nothing.
I don't think there was a time specific limit set for. I mean, it could be done. It can be done anytime if you wanted to.
I just wondered,
No, that's a fair
The
question.
reason they left it undone was all the expected traffic.
Right, yeah, the construction traffic was trying to
The
alleviate.
dumpsters or whatever
Yeah.
would tear it
The
up.
heavy-
I understand that,
Yeah,
but
the
it's
heavy
to the
weight.
point now where,
If not, then, yeah, why wait?
yeah, because it's, I mean, people's using it and them lids are up about yay high, you know, which is fun, kind of weed it out.
Well, we definitely shouldn't have speeding down there at least, I guess.
That's all I got.
One less.
I think
Criticism.
we need to watch deterioration and drainage and everything. Make
For
sure
sure.
we don't run into a problem there.
For sure.
I just wondered about the guy that's doing all this. If he goes, what are you gonna do about that?
Well, they're based in Lynn.
Has he got an agreement,
He's got
a
the
signed
properties.
agreement, does he, to do it within a certain amount of time, or?
We-
Evidently
He bought it,
not.
didn't he? He bought it from the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean,
You see where I'm coming from?
yeah, no, absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, they can put the dumpsters in the dirt if they have to, you know what I mean?
But if you had concrete trucks going down there, you know, to pour foundations and stuff, it'd be even heavier than a dumpster.
Yeah, well,
But
what do you do in your regular town? I mean, if
I-
you pave an Oak Street
I know.
and they run down through there.
Or
then-
grain trucks going up through the middle of town here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Deerfield.
Yeah, anywhere,
Man,
anywhere.
it's
around.
bad.
Well,
No, I just wondered, I didn't know if you guys had an agreement or something, they had to do it within a certain amount of time.
have it be paved. Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do when somebody runs down through there and catches one of them lids and,
Mhm.
which I realize y'all got cones on them, except for the first one, I don't know why I'm saying there. Probably in somebody's backyard.
Well, yeah, it wants to.
I think you got enough problems, we'll go on.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, thank you for allowing some of us to comment about something we feel strongly about. But I wanted to ask you about the Rock House. We're spending a lot of money on it, and I still think that's a good idea. I'm not trying to knock the idea. I do wish we had inspected it before we accepted it, but it does seem like this has been going on for maybe 3 or 4 years, and we haven't sold it unless maybe, do we have a buyer lined up?
I don't know if we have a buyer line. It's supposed to be listed literally any day. Is Matt done with?
He was waiting on the rest of the flooring, and then it'll be done.
So
So I haven't talked to him for about a week.
It's supposed to be done.
It's on
Hickory.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I noticed in the expenditures that the rebuilding is coming along. That's a grant, am I right?
Correct. That was rural development grant.
And are we still thinking that there's gonna be a dentist in there?
I have no indication that she's not going to open her
They
practice,
put,
so as far as I
they
know.
put new
yes.
windows and doors.
Yeah, it looks like, things are happening.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
And that's a great thing. But I guess what I'm trying to say about the Rock House, I thought it was a good idea then, if we execute it right, if people, I think there are still buildings around, houses, that somebody would like to donate for their tax. But before we accept anymore, we should spend a couple bucks on an inspector and find out what it's gonna cost us. And then get a good contractor in there, and because we got good contractors around here. It's not like we don't have talent in this area, but that could still add to the homes, and we could still have some people eligible and able to buy homes that are at a 5% above whatever we got in it. And that was a good idea when it was first talked about, and it's still a good idea if we execute it right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next council meeting is Monday, March 23rd at 6 p.m. Board of Public Works, also March 23rd at 1:45 p.m. Next economic redevelopment meeting pending agenda will be March 18th at 6 p.m. I would hereby entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a first, we have a second.
Second?
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Meeting adjourned.
That's a record.